So, guys, we've got to reach that house before anything happens to the informant. Let's go.
You gotta get to the house, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but that being said, I guess now that I brought it up, I really liked Resident Evil 5 with like no context on what any of the franchise was about. But like, I guess that kind of dampened my experience with it, with seeing Resident Evil 4, because the gameplay in both of those games, they're the only two games that play like each other. There's no other games that play like those two.
What about... Oh.
Well, like...
I was gonna say 1, 2, and 3 all play the same.
Well, like,
But
like, yeah, it's got over the shoulder, and other games do too, but that's not all it... That's not all the Resident Evil 4 experience is, because there's so much more to that game's, like, style. Because, like, Resident Evil 6 completely overhauled, like, a lot of the control scheme. But even, like, with games that are inspired by it, like Dead Space, you don't plant your feet. Like, you can move and walk at the same time. There's no tank controls. There's no, like, separate aiming from your body, where your kind of arms kind of move separate of your waist. It's kind of like when you aim in those games, your gun is just stapled to the back of you, and you're always kind of...
that guy had a
Your aiming
rifle, I guess.
your aiming reticle is always in the center of the screen. So it's the center of your screen that moves rather than, well, you know, it's the screen that moves while keeping... The environment moves around you instead of your aiming reticle moving in the environment. It's not as in the game as it is. It's like a HUD element rather than a real thing. Well, maybe not in Dead Space specifically. Obviously, you have the laser, but... You know.
Yeah, I get it. A lot of games.
Think about, like...
A lot of games. Oh,
No, like, like, compare this. My throat is dry as fuck. It's been this way. Like, notice how your gun is, like, always in the center, like, when you aim it.
Yeah.
But then think about, like, GoldenEye or Time Splitters, where you can, like, move it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what you do in Resident Evil 4 and 5. But you don't do that in any other game I've ever seen.
What the fuck happened? Did you see that?
Yeah, when you
There was
flinch-
nothing on screen until the screen was impossible to see.
Yeah, so, yeah, like, I don't know, they're completely different than a lot of other games. So I guess, like...
Jesus Christ.
Playing 5 first...
They were firing way before they saw anything.
5 is a little faster, and there's less, like, quieter, slowed down moments than in 4. Because it's, like, way less focused on horror. Even if 4 is way less focused than, like, the first game was. But, like, obviously Code Veronica and 3 were less focused than even 2. And 2 was even less focused than 1. It's just kind of like this progression system. And then 6 kind of goes overboard. What the fuck is wrong with my voice? But yeah.
I haven't been any saying anything. I just been letting you talk.
So it's not that I'm underwhelmed. It's not that I was underwhelmed by 4, but I guess... I don't know.
Vision.
I just feel like half the time the internet's like making shit up when they make complaints about certain things in 5. Like, your complaints make sense, like parts of them do, or more sense than others, but like this one guy, most reviews I hear say the same thing, where they're like, 5 is shitty because it does this one thing. 4 does the same thing, but it's better when 4 does it. And then I'm like, okay, I assume he's going to explain why it's different. When, like, why 2 games doing the same thing, but one's better and one's worse, even though they're the same. I assume he's going to say, like, it has something to do with, like, context or atmosphere or some sort of setup that they do. But then they never explain it. They're just like, it's just different because it's different. And I'm like, look, if you feel that way, then just explain why. That's all I want out of some people that talk about it. Because it never feels like that's what they do or try to do. And I feel like it's just a lot of unjustified hatred. Like 6, if you hate, I get it. I don't hate 6, but if you do, I get it. Okay? I get it. But like, I just feel like if you're a person that finds 4 to be fun, I don't see how you couldn't find 5 to be fun. Even if it's less fun, it's just like, I don't see how it'd be a frustrating experience. But then again, people have a lot less patience with AI than I do, like with Sheva. because we had that conversation in Kirby where I talked about how I'm a lot more patient with AI that I have to interact with that has to do things with me. Like, sometimes I can be impatient. I'd be impatient with it in a game like this if I was waiting on some guy to walk to a door and unlock it, but I don't have to be worried about other stuff. But either way.
Yeah, control it back.
This is my story. I waited till I was not playing to tell my story.
This is my story. I mentioned Call of Duty and went on the 5th rant on this channel about Resident Evil 5.
What do you mean the
No, but I
fifth
get
rant?
it. I don't actually know how much you've complained about people talking about Resident Evil 5 on the channel. Probably a lot in 6 when we played 6.
Maybe.
But
Well, I
I
noticed.
get it. We were playing Resident Evil 4 most of the day, so that's why.
Well, I went
it's on
back
his
and
mind,
watched
probably.
6, and I watched the Revelation stream, and you would always bring up like 4 a lot to make comparisons or contrast like what you don't like about other games that you think 4 does better. But then every time you'd mention 5, you'd be very brief, but what you'd say is 5 does this thing. It's shitty. Anyway, and it, like every mention of 5 was always a complaint, and I was like,
because
okay.
most of the stuff that I like in 5 is just stuff from 4.
Yeah. But that's my point. Is like
I don't like
both
any
games
of
are
the,
good or enjoyable.
I just don't like any of the changes they make. Like, and I understand that they're modernizations, but most of them are like weird half modernizations that don't like quite get anywhere, and so they
Like
just
what?
become annoying. Like, just the basic control scheme is one of the big ones.
What's wrong with
it's
the
probably the
control
biggest
scheme?
one. Well, it's just doesn't feel good to me. Like, I just don't like it.
Like what part of it?
Like, I would prefer it just be like free modern movement like this, right? To what it is. But it's not.
No, okay,
it's
wait,
not.
wait,
As,
no,
it's not as precise as 4.
That was one of the things that I.
But it's not as free as this. So
That's-
it's quite frustrating to me.
That's one of the things that
It's a very
people.
basic part of the game.
I heard Credo mention this. Credo was like, 5 is in this weird spot where it's between like the PS2 era and the PS3 era. So everyone acts like it's supposed to just be a game like this, and I'm like, but why does it have to be that then? Because Credo was like, when you have games like Call of Duty, like the zombie mode in Call of Duty, and you have Left 4 Dead, why couldn't 5 just be that? And I'm like, because it, like, no, it wasn't just gonna be a Call of Duty game.
I'm not saying the game should be like that. It's just like literally the controls.
No, that's what
or
Credo
in
was
this
saying about the
weird
controls.
spot.
But like, what's wrong with the controls? Like, does 4 have to be modernized like that? Like, why does 5 have to? Or like, why does
Well-
5 have to be free like this? Like, what is this?
Well, 5 tries to add some of that by removing the tank control movement and some stuff.
Well, it doesn't remove it.
I don't remember exactly
because
what
we've
it
had
does, but-
we've had multiple conversations about how 5 lets you change it. Like, you just have to type. If you want tank controls, you just choose Type A in the menu. Because they still have it. That's a compliment I gave to 5 was the fact
no.
that they let you change it.
The aiming was a thing. Because I think they switched that to left trigger, right trigger,
That's Type D. Yeah.
or whatever. I don't know. I don't think there is a way to get to the Resident Evil 4 controls in Resident Evil 5.
No, that's Type
There's something
A.
they did. Like, no, there's none of them are exactly the same as Resident Evil 4.
Well, maybe not exactly the same, but it'd be like one button somewhere.
I think it's either the basic movement or the basic aiming. Just can't be changed back to how it is in 4.
What do you mean the basic aiming? Like, you aim with left stick if you use Type A. You aim with right stick if you use Type D. So what you were doing was you were either using Type D or you were playing on keyboard and mouse. But if you're talking about playing with 10 controls on a controller, then you're talking about Type A. We should just turn on Resident Evil 5 one day and I just have to show you.
Well, we have, and I just don't like playing it as much because I feel like the controls are. Well, it's not just the controls. The AI is worse.
I thought the AI got better because they try to flank you and stuff. Like in,
Well, it's not that it's worse as in like.
or they're more aggressive
technically
about
more-
getting around you.
Yeah, they're more aggressive, but like. I don't know. I don't like the enemies in 5 either. And then there's like the obvious things like the art style and like how bright it is and stuff. Like, I understand like it's got like a certain kind of scary vibe to it. And I understand 4's vibe is a little bland sometimes. So I get like comparison wise. It's like, well, if you don't like 5's atmosphere, well, how the fuck do you like 4's atmosphere? Like, I get that. Like, but I just mean in general, I don't like how 5 looks. It makes me want to puke. Because it's just very bright and contrasty and bloomy. Like, this is like somewhere towards that, but it's not bad. I think another example of one that does make me like nauseous is like Serious Sam 3 is like gross looking. Army of 2 is another example.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, Resident Evil 5 was the one that had the green tint over it while also having the desert shit. The green tint is disgusting.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I've noticed in this game so far that when you start getting shot, you just can't shoot back. I think some of the I think after this game they might have like made your like bounce like the a little less substantial so you can actually shoot back.
They were saying to shoot the car to explode it.
But anyway, stop playing about a totally different game. That's not this one. Yeah, it's just.
Well, what you were describing sounded just like a preference, but like if somebody were to make a review about the game, they would just be like, yeah, you know what, that's actually like inexcusably whatever. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe like if we're talking about for the time, then yeah, but in the way things age where you can just mod it on PC now, at least it's less of a problem now than if it came out or then when it would have come out.
Oh, I guess. Oh. Oh. This is a weird area where guys are coming in from every direction.
Dude, it's just like real life modern warfare.
I think what you're supposed to be doing is just like keeping alongside your guys so that enemies don't spawn behind.
I was just trying to get away from that car because I knew it would explode and kill me, and it did that.
Oh, yeah. I need to get something to drink.
Oh my god, that guy just got shot in the
I know that's
fucking
gonna
face.
fuck up my throat. So we'll get all mucusy. But like, I also want some cold. But if I drink like if I steal a Sam's Cola, I'll have a different problem where I'll be burping.
Jesus Christ.
I can't do anything.
No, I can't do it. Oh no, my wiener, it's broken.
They have a home field advantage. They know their shit, but I don't.
I like to think that I'm able to adapt to like different control schemes and things that I didn't like before over time. But I think just because Resident Evil 4 is a game I played so much, it's just very, very difficult for me to adapt to 5. I think 6 is more easy to adapt to just because the control scheme is more of like a modernized, it doesn't feel like 4 at all. But that game is just genuinely worse, like in quality. Like I think Resident Evil 5, my problems with Resident Evil 5, some of them you could say are objectively weaker at certain things, but not like weak in general for the most part. Like for the most part, I think 5 is just different rather than worse than 4. But I think Resident Evil 6 is genuinely like, I would say Resident Evil 6, despite any fun we can have with it, I think Resident Evil 6 is generally, ironically, just a bad game. To some extent. At least like a good amount of it is. I think like it has its moments, but it like... And one of those moments is the controls. That's why it's like so hard to put it down regardless of how bad it is because the actual control, like the base is good. It's the level design and the story and all that shit that's just really, really bad in Resident Evil 6. I don't know. I think Resident Evil is like a weird series where we like both have our own preferences and they're like all over the place. Like there's like if we look at like if we took like a test to like show like what our like Resident Evil personality type was, me and you, if we put our like answers next to each other, I don't think we'd get a single question where the answer was the same between the two of us. Because I really love the original games. I really love playing those. That gameplay loop really works for me. Just the slow, like, getting through each hallway and unlocking all the doors and getting all the items and stuff. Just feels really satisfying to me, especially when near the end of the game you reach a point where there's nothing left to find, and you can tell because all the loose ends have been. Yeah, I can tell. I want to say about this game. I can tell that there are plenty of things in this game that like are not necessarily bad, but like I'm very glad that they ironed out. Like the grenade indicator basically means you're gonna die in this game. But in all the later games, and I think even in the earlier games, the grenade indicator just meant it is within a range where it can do damage.
Yep.
And there was like ways to tell if it was close enough to kill you or not. But this game's just like, if there's a grenade indicator, you die. And obviously also just like when you take damage, it wobbles you too much, so you can't really fight back easily. Fuck! Ugh.
I'm gonna blow up this fucking car just so it's
There's
not a
too
problem
many
anymore.
cars, yeah. Damn. The speed with which you emptied that clip.
Oh, fuck.
Call of Duty is a good example of a series where I thought the prevailing opinion, or like I thought like the way it is was like one way, and the way it actually is another way. Where like I thought this was a console game series. Like this is a series of games that you play on console with a controller, and it's like this is like what these controllers are made for. Like that's what I thought. But apparently Call of Duty is for PC, according to hardcore fans. You play with keyboard and mouse because controller sucks. You're not fast enough.
I can't. Yeah, the flinch. I can't shoot anybody.
And that might not actually be the I think that's actually a symptom of just like the competitive scene becoming. I think that's a result of esports, where like you've got to be the best. You know, you can't just be good. You got to be the best. Like you can't hinder yourself with controller because you automatically have a disadvantage to people with a keyboard and mouse. Because keyboard and mouse is so much faster and better. But it's like, yeah, but the game still works fine with a controller. It's like clearly it's good with a controller. But it is also a weird case because it's one of the only Call of Duty is one of the only series that for a long time just refused to add controller support on PC, and that just seems like backwards as hell. Even if it was clearly meant to be really good with keyboard and mouse over controller. Like, even in that case, it's still very strange that Call of Duty was that series where you have to mod in controller support. This is a weird area. This is a weird level.
Yeah, I remember this being too hard for me when I was a kid, but this was like, I was probably playing it on normal. I probably had to turn it to easy and I was still struggling. This just feels like a checkpoint right here, because he says friendly's moving up, and then there's just no checkpoint.
Yeah.
Like, I made it here. I should be able to...
Oh, there is a checkpoint.
Oh. The checkpoint is if they've made it up here. That's the problem with the checkpoint. Because well, it makes sense actually. Because if you just ran ahead, you just get a checkpoint, and then it would respawn with the right conditions, so that way you don't die as soon as you spawn, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be cheap.
What?
To
You
do
need
that.
30 pieces of enemy intel?
It's
Or is that
optional.
like a collectible?
Yeah, it's collectibles.
That's interesting. Is it one per level? Are there 30 levels?
I want to keep the pistol. I just wish you could. Man, I wish every game was just Far Cry, where you could have like 4 guns.
Yeah, I do always wish I had like a shotgun, a pistol,
I do
an
just want
assault
a
rifle, and a
pistol.
sniper rifle.
How do you switch to the grenades? To the grenade launcher.
Yeah, left. I was gonna say left on the D-pad. I was correct. I didn't remember that being in this game, but I didn't really play this game, so I assume that was from Modern Warfare 2 because they have a big tutorial about it, like near the beginning. I think that's one of the campaigns I played the most of. Because I think I played the demo, which I believe is one of the later missions.
Is that not explosive?
Probably not, I guess.
RPG!
But yeah, I played the demo of Modern Warfare 2, which was there might have been 2 demos. I think it was 2 different missions had demos for Modern Warfare 2. And both of those were mid to late game. And then I played through a chunk of it on my own, so the first few missions. And then I think I helped my dad play like one of the last missions as well. So I've played most of Modern Warfare 2, but I also have never paid attention to the story or cutscenes at all, so I don't know any of the characters.
I want that auto aim, son. I want that auto aim to get me up there.
But I absolutely believe when everybody talks about it, it's like, oh, I remember church. Church. I remember Price and I remember Soap and I'm a big fan of this guy called Call of Duty, man. Like I haven't had the experience of that yet, but I totally believe it, because even in Call of Duty 3, I got like really connected to the characters, even though there weren't even very many cutscenes in that game. It was mostly just like, oh yeah, you play as Nichols in Call of Duty 3. I'm gonna try to remember as many names as possible.
Watch your language, man. We're recording.
And the only reason I know your name's Nichols is because of Huxley, who was my favorite because he was funny, and he would always pick on you. He's like, "Watch out, Nichols!"
Nice one, Nichols.
Bro, you saw me get up on this thing.
I did see you do it.
I remember doing it as a kid.
Do it.
I remember doing that as a kid, and I got up onto this roof. Even though, I mean, there's a stairway.
Cinder block.
Oh no!
Isn't Price in every game? Or like, wasn't he for a while?
Yeah, just not Black Ops.
Oh. I don't think Price was in 3. Because 3 was made by different people.
Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 3?
Just Call of Duty 3.
Oh, I don't know.
Call of Duty 3 was made by different people, apparently. And that's why it doesn't have a PC port. And that's why, according to fans, it's not a real Call of Duty game, apparently. I've read that on, like, forums and stuff. I'm like, I don't know. It seems pretty fucking similar to 2 to me. But I don't know. I haven't played 2. It's probably a much better game, to be fair.
It could be, but I have nostalgia.
I'm sure Call of Duty 1 and 2 are really good, but I think we both have nostalgia for 3 specifically, which I think is interesting. That guy had a gun. Oh,
cool.
Oh no!
Watch this.
Why did they checkpoint that? That's
'Cause I'm stupid.
That's weird. Okay, I feel kind of dumb because I actually only got to 2 different characters before I ran out of names of people I remember in Call of Duty 3.
Sergeant Griggs in Modern Warfare 2. Hey!
Who else is there in Call of Duty 3? There was like a main guy. Oh yeah, Dixon. Dixon goes through like... Honestly, it seems like Dixon's the main character in Call of Duty 3, even though he doesn't have a lot of dialogue. I think it's Dixon. There's a guy, and I believe it's Dixon, who goes through like 4 different ranks because the leader of your squad dies several times throughout the game, and then I think Dixon is the guy who is leading the squad by the end. And I think Huxley dies near the end. I think almost everybody on the team dies except for the guy who's leading by the end, and then you who are not leading by the end. So really, your character's not that important in 3, I guess. Wow.
Oh, I don't have any grenades. I'm just gonna unload this AK. Wait, first of all, I can just shoot him.
You have 4 grenades.
No, I don't have...
I don't even know what happened.
I killed myself with that truck, but I was not standing anywhere near it. I don't think they balanced this one's difficulty. Maybe not. Watch this. Blah, 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 blah. He's already dead.
From what I've played of the other Call of Duty games, I haven't I just haven't gotten a lot of like the name connections with the characters yet, so I'm kind of hoping later in this game I'll like notice more of that.
I mean, I cried when Soap died. Spoilers. I didn't cry when Ghost died, but Ghost was also dead in the same game he was introduced in. So like, no shit.
Ghost died.
Even though he still left a lasting impression, everybody cared a lot about him. The fuck was that?
Oh, yeah, I always
that's a
heard that
shotgun.
there was a character called Ghost that people like know about and stuff, and I thought that had something to do with Call of Duty Ghosts, but no, it's just some group of guys called the Ghosts in the future, and they're rebels.
That's lame.
Yeah. It is kind of lame. Oh yeah, it's weird because like you have a brother who's like also a ghost,
Oh, there's a waypoint.
and your dad was a ghost, and like
Well,
in every
when he
mission your
dies,
brother's
yeah.
there with you, and it's like, but like,
What the
what the
hell?
fuck? Your dad actually dies near the end of the game.
You're not my dad.
Like so it kind of acts like there should be some emotional like.
Fuck yeah, is this the
stuff
U.S.
there.
Embassy?
But you've only seen him like 3 times in the game at this point, and he's kind of annoying.
What is this building?
I'm not sure. Something we're gonna blow up, I think.
Is this not like a U.S. Embassy? I don't know why. I figure I know that.
It's just a facility of some sort.
Ow! Ow!
Hey, we're inside. I like the nice green painted walls.
That is not my night vision. I don't have night vision.
What? Night vision was up on the D-pad, but I guess we don't have it anymore.
That was the last mission.
Damn.
I did it. I almost shot my friend.
Yeah, I am starting to get a connection to Vasquez, and my connection to him is that I will always shoot him in the back of the head on accident.
Yeah. Server room, massacre, server room. I don't think I'm shooting these guys. I think my friends were killing all of them, and I just thought I was doing something.
Yeah, I don't think you killed a single person in here. Oh!
Well, that's why.
Hardened is hard.
Hard mode is kind of stupid, actually. Especially when a car blows you up from
Yeah,
a mile away. I just
s-
don't think it's balanced.
These guys see you before they can physically see you. Like, they're just firing before you're even around the corner.
Getting good at this game just means remembering where the enemies do actually go. You're just kind of remembering enemy movements. But it is different every time. Or it's different in some places sometimes. Yeah, this area. Wait, what is this place? Make your way to the second floor.
It's a
Make your
TV
way-
station.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. God, this area is stressful. I do remember it. Oh my god, they just ran away from me.
Let me through.
Yeah, they really get around you.
Oh no.
Oh, that was a fucking RPG, dude.
We need to save ourselves from the Al-Qaeda terrorists.
RPG! Oh! I was not prepared to throw that back. I was just not even gonna fuck with it. You dropped your sody. I died.
I'm not even upset, but it was really funny because, like, my thought, you know how, like, you know, sometimes you have thoughts and they're
Yeah,
like
it's like a
sentences.
brain
the
thing.
sentence that happened in my brain right before I spilled soda all over myself was, you know, things are looking up.
Oh, I was gonna knife that guy, but it's a bad idea. They really want me to have a shotgun here, so I think I'm gonna have a shotgun here. Watch this, fool. Watch this. Are you ready to RPG? Oh, I didn't grab it this time. I grabbed it last time.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wait, what? The fuck? I threw my own grenade, I think.
I hate when I do that all the time. I wish there was like a button that wasn't used for anything else.
I can't see anything.
Yeah, I hate
Look, I get it. I get it. It's like, oh, it's overwhelming. This is how Modern Warfare actually is. Yeah, this sucks, though. Watch this. I threw it back at least.
I wasn't sure if you did or not. I wasn't sure if you threw yours or theirs.
You know why? Because when he throws it, he plays the same He plays.
I think that was Vasquez again.
He plays the. Well, he's dead. So.
Whoops.
When they play the throwing the grenade animation, what plays is him pulling a pin. But if he throws a grenade that's already been thrown, he doesn't have to pull the pin. So there should have been a unique animation, but they didn't do that, which is fine. No, it's not actually, because it's confusing. But I still get when I do it and when I don't do it. Oh, fucking shit, dude.
Who are you?
This is his replacement,
Allen.
Sergeant Allen. Sergeant Allen's one that people talk about a lot, too. I like when they get shot in the forehead and they don't die.
Yeah. I like when you shoot the computer screen and it turns around. Well, you know what I thought I haven't once had in this game? Man, this is a bad game. That's a thought I have not had yet.
Yeah.
So that's good. In fact, I think this game is a good game.
Pushing up is a bad idea. I will get cornered. And I will get surrounded. Or I will shoot above his head like a dummy.
Yeah, I think maybe the auto aim is actually not that helpful. I think that's another thing that gets like tweaked in later games and gets better. It just gets more effective at not fucking you over. Oh, it's Vasquez, he's alive. Look at him. He holds that gun like a dumbass.
What do you mean? He's cool.
Looks like he was holding it with one arm, like up here, up next to his face.
Yeah, because you gotta aim down to sights. All agreed. Stay frosty, guys. Like right here, I'm gonna stay frosty and not die.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna watch my six, because I'm not Devil Dog. Oh, shit.